Bet you weren't expecting to see us in your subscription box today.
We'll get into why people should stop saying that Jehovah's Witnesses are sheep in a minute, but Tiff wanted to start off with just a little update.
Yeah, we just thought we better do a video today. It's been a long time coming. It would be rude for us to not explain where we've been or what's been happening. But it just seems like this year has been like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. And
we've been slammed.
Busy is an understatement of a word. Our job's just been crazy.
Sometimes 4 in the morning till dark, 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight.
Yeah. And I went to the doctor to have some blood work done, and it turns out that my iron levels were extremely low as they've ever been, and so I had to go in and have a bunch of IV treatment and
infusions.
Yeah, infusions, and so that kind of took some time and energy. You know, all we could do is just stay busy, and we are very busy still. So that's where we've been. Just very busy.
Thank you for those of you who did express concern where we were at.
Yeah.
So, why should people stop calling Jehovah's Witnesses sheep?
Because it isn't true, and there's a couple reasons, and we'll get into both of those.
So, first, calling Jehovah's Witnesses sheep is a sweeping statement that includes all witnesses when that's just simply not the case.
Yeah, or why are there so many people leaving?
Right. And you might be thinking, well, I'm just talking about the ones who continue to follow. But the fact is that calling them sheep doesn't have the desired effect on Jehovah's Witnesses anyway.
It's like people who say this don't even know how Jehovah's Witnesses think, or JWs think, I should say, because if you call a JW a sheep, it will immediately call to mind Jesus' words at John chapter 10.
Yeah, so let's read through that. I think that'd be good. You have it handy? We got it here on the computer.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Second. Go ahead.
John chapter 10, verse 1, Most truly I say to you, he that does not enter into the sheepfold through the door, but climbs up some other place, that one is a thief and a plunderer.
So to clarify, the door he's talking about is himself. He is the door. So we'll just, and he says that later on, but I wanted to clarify that in the first place.
But he that enters through the door is shepherd of the sheep. The doorkeeper opens to this one, and the sheep listen to his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has got all his own out, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, because they know his voice. A stranger they will by no means follow, but will flee from him, because they do not know the voice of strangers. Jesus spoke this comparison to them, but they did not know what the things meant that he was speaking to them. Therefore Jesus said again, Most truly I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All those that have come in place of me are thieves and plunderers, but the sheep have not listened to them. I am the door. Whoever enters through me will be saved, and he will go in and out and find pasture. The thief does not come unless it is to steal and slay and destroy. I have come that they might have life and might have it in abundance. I am the fine shepherd. The fine shepherd surrenders his soul in behalf of the sheep.
Key in on that one. We'll come back to that.
The hired man, who is no shepherd, and to whom the sheep do not belong as his own, beholds the wolf coming, and abandons the sheep and flees. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them, because he is a hired man and does not care for the sheep. I am the fine shepherd, and I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I surrender my soul in behalf of the sheep.
So obviously we could go into all sorts of different things to unpack these verses and talk about it from different angles, but here we're just talking about the fact of how a witness views the statement of a sheep. So we can see that Jehovah's Witnesses in general are not going to view calling them a sheep as a bad thing. Second reason why calling a Jehovah's Witness a sheep isn't true is it completely misrepresents sheep in general. It's true that sheep are generally docile creatures they'll generally follow their shepherd.
Yeah, as we read in John chapter 10, Jesus talks about that.
But that also shows that it comes with one big caveat, that the sheep recognize that the shepherd cares for them. We read there that the shepherd surrenders his soul for them. He puts himself on the line for them. He coddles them. He cares for them. He protects them. He does all these things for the sheep, guides them to good pastures and to good water. He's just generally known for caring for them by the sheep, caring for their individual needs and concerns. So beyond the scripture here that we just read, here's an experience that I'd like to share that emphasizes this point. So I happen to know two siblings, male and female. They were involved in 4-H. And what 4-H is, it's basically for young adults or children to show and learn their farming skills, you might say. And at the end of the year, it usually culminates in going to the fair, and where they display what they've the skills that they display the animal, they can display the product that they've grown, whatever it is. They do that at the fair at the end of the year. So just keep that in mind. Well, through the year, they both got these sheep, and the female, she was the sister. She cared for her sheep. She was always there for it, feeding it, brushing it out, cleaning its hooves, whatever
And
it is
bonded
that.
with it.
Yep, and bonding with this sheep, and spending a lot of time for it. In general, caring for it, taking it out of the pen and taking it to good pastures. However you want to describe that, she was just in general caring for the sheep. Now the brother, on the other hand, he was busy doing other things. So the sheep was kind of unattended to. Yeah, he fed it when he had to because somebody told him to. But he really wasn't there to care for it. When it got hurt, he wasn't there to tend to its wounds, unlike the sister. He didn't necessarily take the sheep out of the pen and show it personal individual attention. Well, so that's the way it went throughout the season. Now, come time for the fair and to show their animal, the sister, in front of a crowded place, led her sheep, just called it, and it followed her into the pen. Mm-hmm. So the brother, thinking he was going to get that same obedience out of it, as the sister did, went ahead into the pen, called the sheep. It did not come to him. So, kind of embarrassed, he went out there and he grabbed the sheep and he tried to pull it, and it resisted him. So then he tried to do what you don't do with a sheep, and that's corral it as if it were cattle. Because cattle you corral, sheep you lead. And you lead by example. And that's why that relationship is so imperative. So he gets out there and he tries to push or corral this sheep where it doesn't want to go. That sheep turned around and put him on his keister.
And that's not an isolated incident. If you just do a YouTube search of sheep attacking people, you will see lots of compilations of sheep that will not put up with any crap from those viewed as a threat.
Absolutely. So the conclusion of the matter is, calling Jehovah's Witnesses sheep isn't true, because it's a sweeping statement that Jehovah's Witnesses don't find problematic in the first place, and it misrepresents sheep.
So, what do you call witnesses who blindly follow the governing body?
Lemmings.
Let's read the definition of that. The first one is any of various small, short-tailed, furry-footed rodent.
I don't think that's the one we want.
We're not talking about that. But the next definition, a person who unthinkingly joins a mass movement, especially a headlong rush to destruction. Another version of a dictionary, you can go to dictionary.com, says a person who follows the will of others, especially in a mass movement, and heads straight into a situation or circumstance that is dangerous, stupid, or destructive.
Lemmings, not sheep. Sheep won't tolerate their crap from the hired man. They're lemmings. So at the end of this, I don't know what we'll put on there. We always do something.
Yeah, we've done a little traveling, not a lot, just because we've been busy here doing our job. But you know, we've gone and done some traveling.
We had our car show though. Maybe we could put on a Model T drive. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, we've got some.
Until next time.
We're gonna go on a little ride. We're gonna go to our farmer's market. I don't know how good it is this year or how it's gonna be, but we're gonna go try it out. And Chad's gonna give you a lesson on how to drive a Model T.
A short lesson.
Short lesson.
A short, brief lesson. So down here is your air-fuel mixture. Well, I guess this one's right here. We turn this back and forth. This one's okay. A lot of times we have another one that you have to actually reach underneath it and adjust it. That's what I was saying down there. And then it's also serves as your choke. But this is your timing. And this is your throttle right here, your gas. Have your gas set a little bit. Why don't you come on in?
Okay. You have to shut my door.
The 3 pedals on the floor are brake, reverse, and clutch. This also is a brake. This is your normal gear, first gear, and this is, it kicks automatically up into second gear. So you pull the brake all the way back, turn it over, give your throttle, release your brake, give it a little clutch. How that pops automatically forward. So if you're going to stop, you have to watch that and make sure it's back. Otherwise, it will want to go into second automatically. And so when you let off this clutch, you have to idle down. Right here. Like it. Throttle back up. Accelerate. Now watch that lever right here. I'm going to let go of it. It automatically goes up. Throttle up. Let go of that. Let go of the clutch, and you go into second. And that's your high gear. This one actually has shifters, so you can have the high, low, and other gears to go into as well. Just about everybody weighs like this.
It's like being in a parade every time you drive it. Ride in it, whatever. He's got his foot on the pedal too.
So that puts you basically in the first gear as you do it.
There's a couple tables.
They have it at this little park here in the corner. Produce out there. Looks like just ham and stuff. Well, I guess Tom's there.
Tom's there. Yeah, let's go say hi. Show you what I got there today. They just had a few little stands, but what do you got? Got some beets.
With the greens.
These with the greens. Some lefse. I haven't had lefse in years. Onions and a couple peppers.
Tomatillo salsa. Can't wait to try that.
There it is. Last November she made that from last year's harvest, so she's selling it for this year. Tomatoes.
And a mix of
green beans and yellow beans, wax beans or something, and cucumbers. So now
still early yet, so not a bunch of stuff, but
yeah.
still
No melons or anything. We'll get a really short season. Okay. I'm gonna get in before you. And he got 2 chocolate chip cookies.
Which I already ate.
Which he already ate.
Again, break on. Steering wheel turned around and it's made that way so that way you can quickly adjust your timing, but it's also very easy to bump them. So you'd be going along steering and you can throttle up really easy.
It's like pushing down on the gas pedal.
Yep.
Somebody's cooking something good. I smell it.
That's it.
We're back. Ready, Toki?